This is episode number 5 with Christina Montalvo. Christina is an anti-diet and confidence coach. She turned her home garage into a warehouse gym. In this episode, we will talk about confidence, her business journey, and suffering. A quote I loved that Christina said was, "If you don't like the way things are going, you have to do it yourself." I know you will love this episode just as much as I did. Let's jump in.
Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or you're badass, I'm glad you're here. Today's guest is Christina Montalvo. Christina, thank you. So excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
First off, before we go any further, I have got to ask you, do you consider yourself to be ordinary or badass?
I think you're going to be so disappointed by my answer. I personally consider myself to be very ordinary, but living a badass life.
Okay. Why do you consider yourself to be ordinary?
I just don't think that I'm special at all. Like, I'm not overly talented. I feel like everything that I've done for myself and in my life is obtainable to literally every other woman on the planet.
Okay, nice. I like that.
Thanks.
So first, can you share with our audience a bio about yourself so that they can learn a little bit more about you?
Yeah, sure. So I guess my adult life, right? You don't need to know like my childhood story, I'm assuming.
Yeah, adult life's good.
Okay, cool. So long story short, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in exercise science, and thought that I had secured a full-time job at a commercial gym before I had even graduated. And I thought that this was it. I was going to, be a millionaire working at a commercial gym. And I didn't even last 6 months there. It just didn't jive with me whatsoever. And rewind a little bit, when I was about 18, 19 years old, I told myself I would always open a business, but I think I was young and naive and didn't know like what that meant or what that entailed. So about 6 months into my first full-time job, I had already bought my first home, and then quite literally was fed up. And from one day to the next, called my parents. I wasn't living with them anymore. And I was like, I quit my job and I'm starting a business out of my garage. And my mom's like, do you need to move back home? I'm like, I don't know. We're just going to figure it out. And so that was the day that started, I don't know where it came from, this quest of like, I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out. And like jumping before you have a parachute. So that's like very much so my thing. So fast forward 5 years after that, same thing. I woke up one day and decided I was going to expand my garage gym into a warehouse gym. And that was another thing. My mom's like, my parents are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I'm just making decisions from, I don't know. And I think the coolest part about this is I'm in the fitness industry, right? But I am anti-intentional weight loss and I'm anti-aesthetic pursuits. So you pair this entrepreneurship with the exact opposite of what we're taught inside the fitness industry of like, don't hire me if you just want to lose weight. And it has made for a very interesting career so far, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Nice. So before you started doing the entrepreneurship thing, did you know anybody else who had done that?
Started a business?
Yeah.
So my dad has always been a business owner, not always, but he started a business out of our basement when I was younger, but in a completely separate field. Like it was like a machine shop kind of a thing, but it was never like instilled within me, like, hey, I'm your dad. And if I did this, you could do this too. So while that's true, I come from a a dad that has been a business owner and to this day is, it was never like, build your own business and don't work for a corporation. I wasn't raised with a lot of fear of like, get a corporate job, save your money, have a pension, don't do anything crazy, just live this really safe life. And I essentially took all that advice and flushed it down the toilet when I was 21.
Maybe it was just in your DNA.
Maybe.
Let's talk a little bit about your wins. Can you share with us something that you're most proud of accomplishing?
Gosh, making it this far. I take a sense of pride in like, I did it all by myself, which is actually kind of damning sometimes because asking for help I've learned is also brave. But I expanded this warehouse gym, so single car garage, part of my mortgage, into a 2,000 square foot warehouse. And I did it all by myself. No loans, no financial help, no credit card debt, nothing. And why I'm so proud of that is because I really, really had to fight and sacrifice for that. So I was 26 years old when I started making the moves into the business expansion. And all my friends are settling into their careers. They're getting married. They're going on fancy vacations and honeymoons. And, they're buying expensive cars. And I have nothing, right? I have a dream and a crazy work ethic. And I essentially packed my dream and my work ethic in a backpack and like went to work. And so to see that I'm still standing on 2 feet, my business is profitable. My podcast is an amazing, passionate outlet community, right? I have all this online stuff too, but making it on my own in that way with literally nothing, like I'm not even kidding, I mean, nothing. It's just a testament to how much I believe in myself. Like when I talk about being ordinary, I'm like, I'm not special, but I can be ballsy sometimes. And so seeing that come to fruition was, to this day, is still very cool.
So where did that come from, that testament to how you believe in yourself? Like, how did that come about, or have you always been that way?
I think I've always been this way. I keep referencing my parents, but they will tell you that I was like an independent, crazy 2-year-old. Like I always wanted to be in charge, and I always kind of had this crazy imagination, and I wanted to do things differently than everybody else. So I think some of these characteristics are innate. I don't know where my work ethic came from, but I've always just been like a scrappy, gritty, resourceful person. And I learned early on that if you don't like the way that things are going, you have to do it yourself. So I didn't like the way that the fitness industry felt at the commercial gym. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to do it myself. I was given offers through other people leaving that commercial gym, like join our business. And I'm like, no, if I'm leaving this corporate job, I'm going to do it my way. And I want to be clear. This is, I think, maybe what you're alluding to. Like, we don't gain confidence and then do something cool. We literally have no confidence, no idea what's going on. We do this big, crazy, scary thing. We gain the confidence from that big, scary thing. So it happens in the reverse. Like people are waiting to do something awesome till they have enough confidence. And the way that I do it is like, I'm scared and I'm doing it anyway. And then confidence happens as a byproduct of that.
I so agree. You have to do it and you have to fail and then learn from that failure. And that's what gives you the confidence, is when you keep going.
100%. I fail every day and my clients know that. I'm like, oh, and that's how I keep learning. And that's how I gain more confidence, is through screwing up all the time.
Well, that's more human too, is when people admit their failures, rather than just acting like you're perfect all the time.
Yeah. And that's exhausting and it's boring. I tell my clients that all the time. I'm like, perfect is so boring.
It is. I agree. So you talked about how you're proud of accomplishing your business and getting to where you are without going into debt. What is something that it took to accomplish that most people don't know about?
I think, like, going back to the sacrifices, like people see on paper, like, wow, must be nice, you expanded your business. And on the outside looking in, it's like, she must be doing so well in order to afford this. Even when I quit my full-time job, people were like, wow, your parents must be helping you, or, you must have, must be nice, is kind of the thing that I've been faced with a lot. And it really was, even when my business expansion happened, there were nights where I was like, I think I need to live out of my car. Like, these were actual conversations that I was having with my closest friends and my family. Like, do I sell my home to buy myself a year of income and then live out of my car? My mom's like, just move back home. And of course my story's like, I'm going to do it by myself, so I don't want you to help me. And that was a very real and viable option for me, losing my home. There were times where it felt so insurmountable that what a lot of people don't know, and even my clients probably don't know this, I was ready to close. I'm like, this is crap. I can make more money working at Starbucks. I can make more money at McDonald's. All the money that was coming in was going right back out. So I'm making enough money to keep my gym lights on, but I don't have enough money to feed myself.
Right.
So I kept making decisions, and I kept putting the gym before me because, again, all I had was a dream packed in a backpack labeled, holy shit, we're doing this, fear. And I'm like, we're going to do it anyway. And I don't think a lot of people know how dark and scary that was. And I had to show up every day at my gym with a smile on my face. I hardly have enough gas to drive my car from home 12 minutes to the gym. And I'm like, hey, welcome to the gym that I might close down tomorrow because I can't do this anymore. And I think there's maybe 3 people right now that know how bad that was for me for such a long time.
So what would you just say to somebody that's in that moment right now where they're struggling and they might have to close down and they're not sure if they should keep going or stop?
Literally, like, my advice would be fucking figure it out. Like, if you want, like, here's the thing though, like, suffering in your struggle is a choice. You can struggle. I'm fine with the struggle, but like, suffering is a choice. So if you want it bad enough, which maybe you don't, if you don't, then it's not worth the struggle. It's not. If you want it, then don't suffer through your struggle. Thrive through your struggle. So first, if you're in that position, figure out if you want it bad enough. And if the answer is yes, I swear, like, figure it out if you have to. I'm not even exaggerating. I was selling purses. I was selling shoes. I was trying to sell old, like, cameras, like an old computer or whatever. And I just kept telling myself, effing figure it out. Figure it out. You want this. You want this. And I kept weighing, do I want to close it down, or does it just feel like the easy way out? And it felt like a cop out. So I kept going one more day. So if you want something bad enough, you're going to struggle, but you don't have to suffer. It's a choice.
I love that.
Oh, thanks.
So let's talk about your struggles. Tell us about a time when you gave up and you wish that you wouldn't have.
Wait, I don't know if I've ever given up on something. I don't know if I've ever full on given up on something. Everything that I've ever quit or given up was because it wasn't serving me anymore. So it doesn't feel like a loss. Does that kind of make sense?
It wasn't serving you, so you just kind of pivoted and moved on.
Yeah. And like, so, I mean, I can take this, like, the fitness route, let's say. I thought I loved running marathons for a really long time. And so there was a point in which I had signed up for another marathon, and I'm not even halfway through the training. And I was like, this is actually miserable. And it wasn't like, it wasn't even like, this is hard and I don't want to do the training. I was like, this is actually detracting from my quality of life. And so I dropped it. I like didn't finish training, didn't do the race, but it didn't feel like quitting. It felt like moving towards alignment. So I was actually, by quitting, like, giving back to myself. And so if I'm going to give something up, if I'm going to quit something, it's coming from a place of serving myself instead of like, the work was too hard. Because again, if you want it bad enough, like, figure it out. So I don't know if I have anything that I was like, damn, I wish I shouldn't have done that,
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that we'd be better served if we don't beat ourselves up over when we just try to transition to something new.
Yeah, I like the word that you use, pivot. Like, instead of quitting, can we pivot? I like that mindset a lot better.
Yeah, I think it's healthier. It's healthier all around.
Totally.
So we talked for a second before the show started, and you said that you were single. Can you tell us, have you ever had any struggles with people either trying to ask you when you should get married, or just societal norms and expectations about marriage?
Oh God. Yeah. Okay. So I have a boyfriend. I'm in a committed, serious relationship. But marriage. so I come from a Hispanic family. So it's like culture and common norm that like, you know, you're 18 and you should be a wife now kind of a thing. That's from more like the older matriarchal, you know, the matriarchs in the family. So then you go away to college for 4 years and you come home without a husband and it's like, what's wrong with you? You know? Oh my goodness. So I have been receiving pressure to get married and like settle down and have children literally since I was 18. I'm 20, I'll be 30 in December, and there's like not a husband in sight. Now, since I have a boyfriend, it's worse. They're like, so like, I'm not even exaggerating. Just a few weeks ago, I went over to my grandma's house, 85-year-old Mexican woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend's with me. She opens the door and she goes, "Are you married?" I'm like, "Hi, it's nice to see you too." Like, it's just it's the most important thing that a woman can do, right? Then my other grandma, who's Puerto Rican, is like, "You're too old to have babies now. So like, what have you done?" And I'm like, what if I don't want to? Like, can someone else ask me about something else? So it's funny because my sister's younger than me. When my grandparents are around, I'm like, talk to her. Like, maybe she'll get married and have kids first. So that's the family pressures. Even some of my clients are like, "So are you like getting married soon?" I'm like, no. The way that I see it, and this is a pretty harsh viewpoint, like, I just think that marriage is not an accomplishment. It takes no work on the woman's part. Like the guy has to ask you. It's an opportunity. It's fine. I think marriage is fine. I'm not like anti-marriage, but the way that I always explain this is like, I got my MBA, right? I posted about it on Facebook. I got like 30 likes. This Joe Schmo that I went to college with gets married and gets 500 likes on her marriage photo. I'm like, what the hell? So it's not important to me. It seems to be very important to literally every other woman in my life. The kid thing, even more, to the point where like, people are like, well, you can adopt. And I'm adopted. So I am fine with that. But like, also, what if I don't want children? And when you say that, people are like, you're going to change your mind. I'm like, but I may not. So can we just not, you know?
Or they'll try to change your mind.
Yes. They're wonderful. Your life is so great after you have kids. And for me, it's more of like, okay, but if I decide to never get married and never have children, can you stop trying to guilt me or change my mind for me? I think, and I don't know where that comes from, if it's just that like I'm the weird one, like I'm the business owner, I'm the go-getter, like woman in a world where women are I don't know, are women expected to still be barefoot in the kitchen? I don't know.
Well, it still seems like there's the expectation, you know, for like marriage and buying a house and having kids and all those things.
Yeah. And I'm just like, no thing. I have more exciting, for me personally, right? Like, it's personal. I have more exciting things that I would like to work on before I like tie myself down and procreate. I don't know.
Yeah. Or to fit into somebody else's timeline, you know?
Totally. 100%. 100%.
So let's talk a little bit about your mindset. Can you tell me about your mindset and how it has led to your badassery?
Sometimes it just feels like sheer stupidity. You know, when I think about the decision that I made when I was so young in my early 20s to quit my full-time job and start a business out of my home with no plan, I don't know if I would ever do that again. So sometimes ignorance is bliss, because you're like, how bad could it be? And what I know now is like, Christina, it could have been really bad. Like, you know, hindsight's 2020.
Right.
So there's that. So some of it is just kind of like sheer stupidity, but also the mindset, again, that I kind of alluded to prior, was like being scared and doing it anyway. I think a lot of people think that fear goes away at some point, but I think my best mindset is like, I'm scared and I'm still going to do it. That like resilience thing, you know?
Yeah, totally. So do you have any mindset tips or tricks that you have for us to improve our mindset, or that you tell your clients?
In terms, like, I have a lot of mindset tips. Do you have one specific like roadblock that your listeners might have when it comes to mindset?
Let's talk about confidence and self-esteem. Any tip or tricks for that?
Yeah. So again, confidence. We think that confidence is the precursor to something. We have to switch that around. So, like, I just need the confidence to leave my job. You'll gain the confidence after you leave your job. The most quote unquote famous exercise that I have my clients do is, I'm going to try and summarize it here. This is more about being in alignment, which when we're in alignment, I think we feel more confident. We just feel more grounded and more able to, we have more clarity instead of chaos when we're grounded. So the way that I do this is on a sheet of paper, you're going to write down the top 3 ways that you want to feel. So women's knee-jerk reaction is like skinny. I'm like, no, that's not a feeling. Try again. Or like sexy. I'm like, nope, try again. So emotions, like, how do you want to feel? So for me, I want to feel strong, independent, and organized, let's say. So I have 3 feelings. Under each of those 3 feelings, you're going to write down 3 action items that make you feel that way. We have 3 feelings and then a total of 9 action items. Then you get to go through your calendar, through your day, your week, your month, your year, and go, am I doing the things that make me feel the way that I want to feel? Yes or no? And so I guide my clients back to that barometer all the time of like, how did you say you wanted to feel this month? Find the action. So I think that's the kind of the common theme here. Like all these things, confidence, alignment comes from action.
So if they say that they wanted to feel strong, then they would just do 3 things that make them feel strong, like go for a run or stand up for themselves or something like that. Would that be right?
Yep. So like, it's actually a great question. A lot of the times when people say strong, they're like, okay, so I'm going to deadlift, squat, and do push-ups. I'm like, but also, is it enforcing a boundary? Is it like not saying sorry when you weren't the one who owes an apology? It's, like strong in your communications, strong in your convictions, in your interactions. It's not, sure, there's the physical component, of course, as the gym owner, of course, I feel that way, but strong in your being, in your interpersonal relationships is important too.
I have to say I really love that because I think it's very specific and it's actionable, something that, our listeners can just take action on and put into practice today. So thank you for that.
Totally. Oh, you're so welcome.
Do you have a mantra or meditation practice?
Really, really is that thing. It is, am I doing the things that make me feel the way that I want to feel? And to be honest, I'm not always doing those things. But it's really helpful. So I guess this is a meditation practice. Every Sunday, I look at my week, I look at what needs to be done, and then I make sure to build in time for doing the things that make me feel the way that I want to feel. Sometimes that means emptying out my inbox. That helps me feel organized, right? And it's a work task, but it also personally makes me feel organized. And then monthly, I do monthly recaps of the whole month. I actually just posted about that on Instagram. Just to kind of make sure, did I just waste an entire month of my life doing nothing? Did I do the things that I said I wanted to do? And so I check in with myself that way. And I use that 3 feeling thing, which ebbs and flows, by the way. Sometimes you don't care about feeling strong because maybe the season of your life, maybe you want to feel calm or something different. So these feelings ebb and flow. And I just make sure that I'm doing the things that make me feel the way that I want to feel.
So how does that make you feel after you do the check-in?
Accomplished.
Love it.
and grounded and focused. And then I'm like, now I know, what do I need to do for this upcoming month? Where did I suck this month? And I don't do it from a place of beating myself up like, oh my God, you suck. It's areas of improvement. And it's just this, I feel really good knowing that my whole year is moving along kind of how I want it to.
Right. And then I think just looking at it from an objective point of view for wins and losses and just kind of where to go from there, I think that would be helpful.
That's such a good point. The objective part, once you're oh my God, I'm the worst human ever, it's so much harder to move forward. Totally. I have months I've had years that are complete losses. Nothing goes my way. Everything's a disaster. And when you go, that's interesting, I wonder why it happened that way, then you get another piece to the puzzle to move forward better next time.
Right. And kind of along with that, I think people see an Instagram post or they see something and they just take one picture and not realize everything that it really took or the years that it took to get you to where you are.
Totally. 100%.
So let's talk about a little bit about tips. If you could share one tip that you think every female should know about, what do you think it would be?
Oh, you are worth more than what you look like. I
Love
think a
that.
lot of women are I think a lot of women are stuck with like, I'll be happy when I lose 10 pounds, or I need to get a nose job, or I need to everything for women. And it's not our fault. It's society, right? It's our culture. Everything about women revolves around what we look like. And I will say the one thing, my life, my business, everything about me did not start to shift until I was like, oh my God, it literally doesn't matter what I look like. That was a really important thing for me to truly feel and understand.
So is that kind of how you've applied it to your life then? You just reflect whenever you're self-conscious about something, like how you, like, it doesn't matter what you look like.
For me, it's more about what I feel like. So, I mean, gosh, there's so many different ways we could take this conversation. So, the way that I speak to this is whatever size and shape your body takes when you're taking the best care of yourself is the size and shape your body is meant to be. So, if I come down with pneumonia and I'm bedridden for 12 days, of course I'm not going to work out, and I might gain weight in those 12 days. I had a back injury at the beginning of this year and I couldn't lift weights. My body definitely changed size and shape, but that was self-care, right? Like I literally could not put my own socks and shoes on. It was horrible. So it's not, I think a lot of people take that the wrong way. They take it out of context where I'm like preaching apathy, like just don't care about anything. But I physically don't feel well if I'm not active. I physically don't feel well if I'm not eating enough protein or fruits and vegetables. I also don't feel well if I don't get to have a brownie when I want a brownie. So there's a lot of nuance that goes into that. But for a long time, I thought that my business could never be successful unless I had a six pack and fake boobs and a fake tan. And like, I was like, can I get butt implants? Like it all centered around what I look like. And that is not why my clients hire me because I have nice boobs. Like, come on. So it's less about what we look like than we think. And I mean that across the board.
Yeah, no, I totally think it's about taking ownership. Take ownership of who you are and how you look, however that is right now. Just take ownership and move forward from there.
Yeah.
So, do you have a tip for how you get inspired or stay motivated?
Yeah. Motivation doesn't exist. That's something that was important for me to come to terms with. I was always waiting for motivation to strike. I'm gonna be very honest. I don't ever feel motivated to do shit. Ever. So there's discipline and dedication. And then there's this like lie that's motivation. So in January, I did this big thing with my clients about the workshop was called Motivation as a Liar. Like we're never motivated to brush our teeth. No one's like jumping out of bed of like, yes, yes, yes. It's just something that needs to be done. I started applying that concept to everything else in my life. Like, and now I do this thing, right? Like it's just required of me. People in the gym, they're like, well, I'm not really motivated to go. And then I'm like, are you sick? Are you injured? Do you require a rest day? Is there a legitimate reason why you shouldn't be going to the gym? Because those exist. If all the answers are no, you probably got to go to the gym. Because I'm not motivated. There are times that I'm like, really, we have to lift weights today. Yep. It's just part of the lifestyle. It's just like this morning, I brushed my teeth, When we're waiting for motivation to strike, we're only going to do things that feel good in the moment. I'm not motivated to go to work every day. Like I have to though. So that's my biggest tip for motivation. It literally doesn't exist.
Totally. There's some quote and I'm totally going to hack it, but like if you're looking for motivation, you got to go out and tackle it and like beat it down,
Yeah.
And it doesn't just come your way.
Yeah. Yeah. And motivation is an unreliable like source of willpower because you might be motivated today and not motivated tomorrow, but like the thing that you're working on still needs to get done. So Mel Robbins, she's the author of the 5-second rule. I don't know if you're familiar with her work.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She uses the term like we have to parent ourselves, and it's true. Like we have to be like, and now I have to go do this thing. And so that doesn't sound very sexy, but it's helpful.
It's life.
It is, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about badass advice. This is more of a rapid fire section. What was your turning point for accomplishing your goals and becoming a badass?
I don't know if I had a turning point. I created my own turning points. I was like, and we're doing this now.
Nice. But I think it becomes easier to have that attitude. Like once you start doing that and having just always taken action, it becomes easier to do it again and again.
Totally. Yep. Momentum for sure.
Yep. Do you have a morning or evening routine that you can share with us?
Morning routine. Drink as much coffee as possible. Yes. I try to read in the morning. It might be something like from Mel Robbins. It might be a couple pages of the book that I'm reading, just to kind of enjoy my coffee and slow down a little bit. I can't say that I have a super sexy morning routine. It's like maybe a page or two, maybe 5 minutes of reading, an entire pot of coffee, and then I'm off to the races. Nighttime routine. I always read before bed. No email, no nothing crazy. And then I always watch at least one episode of Friends every night.
Nice. What's one thing that you've learned from a woman in your life?
Always listen to your gut.
That's so true. Anytime I've ever ignored my gut, it's always come back to haunt me.
Every time, right? Yes.
Yeah. So who did you learn that from?
My mom.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I feel like women have more of a gut instinct, it's more natural. So just listen to it. I agree.
Yeah. Yes.
Can you share a habit or a practice that has contributed to your success?
A pen and paper planner. Isn't that weird?
You're just talking like a physical planner. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Something about like being able to touch it and cross things off instead of like in my phone makes it feel so much more real. And I visit it often. So that's where my everything that I said, like the 3 feelings, the actions, my month, my week is all happening on a pen and paper planner.
I can totally relate to that. Even when I do like my morning pages writing, then it's all in pen and paper. Something about writing it out.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you wish everyone knew about confidence and overcoming obstacles?
You're going to be scared every time. Like the fear does not go away. I cannot, even now I'm actually working on something right now that's scaring the crap out of me. You have to make friends with your fear. Look at your fear in the face, grab its hand and be like, and we're doing this together. Like me and you, fear, like, let's go. Instead of trying to resist it, you just hug it and keep moving.
Yeah. New levels, new devils.
Yeah, totally.
How often do you read, and can you recommend a book to share with the audience?
I read every day. I love reading. Gosh, so many different books. My favorite, I've read it 4 times now, is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero.
Love
and then my second favorite, I've read it, I think also 4 times, is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson.
I've heard that a couple times now. I guess it means I need to read it.
He has a second book that's also amazing called Everything is Fucked. You can see the theme here. Also by Mark Manson. Highly recommended.
Did you read it or listen to the audiobook? Just kind of random
I read
question.
it.
Okay.
I read it. Yeah, totally.
Nice. Let's end with a tip to empower women and how the audience can connect with you.
Well, I hope something that I've already said is like unconventional as it sounds was empowering. Trust your gut. Don't be afraid to work hard. Don't be afraid to struggle. Suffering is optional. I think that's the biggest thing. Like struggling's okay. Suffering's optional. Is that empowering though? Like, I feel like I'm like encouraging women to like roll up your sleeves and get to work, but kind of.
I like your unconventional way. I think that's what people can connect with.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very fluffy over here, It's just not very fluffy. And what was the second question?
And then how can our audience connect with you?
So I am the most active by far on Instagram. So that's Christina_Montalvo. And then I have a podcast that's full of F-bombs. I have to, it is what it is. And that's called the Confidence Project Podcast.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Christina. You've been a total badass and I've enjoyed hearing your story. With that, we'll end our show. And to all the badass women out there staying in the arena, whatever you are doing, just own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.